This episode of the CloudCity Converse Podcast is sponsored by Champ Meals. Hit them up at champmealspdx.com. If you live in the Portland and Vancouver and surrounding areas, get your orders in by Thursday for delivery on Sunday. champmealspdx.com. Full of flavor, affordable, and awesome meals that pack a punch to fuel you in your journey to be a champ. champmealspdx.com. Hey, what's up, brothers and sisters? It's been a while. It's been a while since we had an episode. We're officially now on season 2 of the CloudCity Converse, and what better way to start off the second season with interviewing a friend of mine that I've been chasing after, and I know her schedule's been really crazy, but I'm really happy to start off and kick off the second season of the CloudCity Converse with my friend. I call her my friend. I hope we're still friends. It's been so long since we've seen each other. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Danika Della Rouge. How are you, sister?
Hey, I'm doing great, and yes, of course, we are still friends.
I know that's right. I gotta make my way up to Seattle so we can catch up, and more than just seeing each other at a wrestling show, but kind of hang out a little bit. It's been a crazy, like 2 years, legit, since the pandemic started and everything. And at the time where this episode airs, it should be right around Christmas time or just after. So happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Feliz Navidad, Happy Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and all that good stuff. How have you personally been maintaining through the pandemic time?
I mean, we're all going through our ups and downs. I know at first I was taking it pretty hard, and then at home life. Then I just started to get back out there and wrestle, and now I'm just working out and doing therapy and trying to catch up with everyone else out there.
Yeah. So you mentioned therapy, right? So for those who don't know, you had a pretty bad knee injury. You want to talk about that a little bit, what that process was like and has been like to get you back to this point?
Yeah. Oh man, it was terrible. It felt terrible at first, because I was on a tour and it was the first show, and things happen. Everyone says it. Everyone gets injured at some point in your career, and it was just my time. I'm definitely doing a lot better now, going to therapy. It was really hard. It's definitely a lot easier now. I think at the beginning, it's pretty tough.
You are,
but now
the tour, was it when you were in South Korea, or was it stateside?
No, it was after Korea. I was doing the midget tour. In Ohio.
Goodness. And the actual the match and the time, like, you want to talk it all about, like, if you recall how it happened, when it happened, and all that stuff?
Oh yeah. So I have torn an ACL before in my other leg, and so I know the feeling. And it was literally the entrance of the match, flipped over the ropes, landed, and I felt it go. It's just a pain you don't forget.
Yeah.
Cut a promo, went back out there, and went to the back because I was gonna have a match later, and I'm just like, I tore my ACL. Like, I just knew it. Talked about it with them. I was gonna go to the doctor later just to make sure. But, it's always on the easiest things. I've done that like so many times over and over, and it's always on the simplest of things. that you just get hurt and it just happens. And you just have to either go through it and push through it or stop.
Yeah, and pushing through it is obviously what you've been able to do. And when did that happen?
That was June 30th.
Okay, so June of good God, what year are we in? 21. So it's
we're in 21.
So it was June of 21. So since then, obviously, you've been on the road to recovery, and I've been, trying to check in with you as much as I can just to encourage you a little bit, and I know a lot of other people have as well. As far as your training regiment, how has it, of late, right now that you're getting a little bit more back to your normal, has your training regiment changed a little bit? Are you a little bit gun shy now because of it, or are you just like, like you said, these things happen. We understand this happens in athletic competition. Like, what's your thought process? How's your head about it, I guess, is the question.
I did already take some matches because I know in that time I'll be good. But I'm just going based off of like the timeline of like what my doctor gave me, and then also like the just before it, because your doctor's always going to want to make sure you're completely like 100% good. And but I mean, we're going to do what we're going to do.
There you go.
And that doesn't mean I'm going to go out there and just like give it everything. But, there's things that you can work around. People get injured and there's ways to work around it.
Yeah. And it's been really cool, too, with the workaround, at least from what I've been able to see. I know that you still were working for Midget Wrestling Warriors. And you and I talked about that a little bit at the Defy shows. You're still working the Defy shows, which I thought was super dope. Yeah, I love that smirk right there. To see that the way the character developed, your character has developed prior to the pandemic, and then when the show started back up again, I coined it Dark Danika, because when Cameron and I talk about it, I was like, she came out like the complete different side, a different facet, right, to the diamond, which I think is really cool. I love seeing people's personalities manifested in their character work. And you seemed really comfortable and like you were having a lot of fun swinging that crutch around and taking out any and everybody that got in your way. Before the Midget Wrestling Warriors incident, I know we talked a little bit. My granddaughter's at the window. Hi, sweetie. The South Korea tour. How did that come about? Because ideally, again, let me preface this by saying I generally freestyle the interviews just because I want it to be conversational and try to keep it on topic as much as possible. But I'm very much intrigued, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk with you on the podcast is I'm very interested now that I'm training in different training styles around the world, right? And being able to talk with people who have trained, like I talked with Kel, and when she was training, she told me about her training in Japan. And I'm trying to get with Rhea to talk with Rhea about what it's like training and working in Canada. And I saw a video that you posted. It was actually not in Mexico, but you were in LA training. It was you and Viva Van. I think it was in LA, and I saw you do like some off the top rope. I mean, it was just training stuff, but it was so, it was so legit. And I was like, oh wow, it's such a different, refreshing look at what you're able to do. So I wanted to talk with you about that. But before we get into the Lucha training and anything that you've done along those lines, because I think we had a conversation once about Lucha training and the Lucha style and your dream opponent in that Lucha style. We'll come back to that, but I wanted to check in with you about how everything for South Korea went, what that was like, being out there, differences and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was completely different. I mean, I had some expectations, but definitely during COVID made it different. And I had to go through like 2 weeks of quarantine, and like who's had to do that before? Like, this is something new that it's hard to look up on and know what you're going to get into. And but then like after that, like the people there are so nice, the promotion was nice, and even though like there were like barriers of English to their language, we still figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually surprised at how many like American workers were there, because there were translators there.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know, I just didn't expect that many American pro wrestlers would be there when there's only maybe like top 5 promotions in South Korea. I don't even think there's 5 promotions in
Right.
South Korea.
Oh, wow. How did it all come about? Like, did they come after you? Was it something that you efforted to make happen, or like how does Danika end up in South Korea of all places? How legit is that? That's super dope.
For sure, networking, and then also I had met someone in the LA dojo when I had went a while back, I think in 2017. Yeah, in 2017, and they had referred me to the promoter, Shiho.
Okay.
And then I also had another friend, Jordan, that had just went from Korea, and they had also referred me to them. And then I just messaged them on the side, and we just got to talking.
That's
business, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's so dope, right? About connections matter, obviously, but advocating for yourself matters too, right? I mean, you have to put yourself out there. And with that risk of putting yourself out there comes the risk of, I don't know, the pandemic has me thinking so like overly psychological and analytical about any and everything. I had a rough week a few weeks ago. My body was just beat up and my spirit was just weak. I'm like, I just need a couple days off. So I really started over pondering stuff and thinking about how to put yourself out there. It's like no risk, no reward, right? I guess is what I'm getting at. And that's awesome that you were able to do that. How long were you out in Korea on that tour?
I was out there for about a month and a half. And I think it was really great for me, and like I think anyone in general, because I had guidance there, but I also had to kind of figure out how to do everything on my own. How to get from one place to another.
Yeah.
The names aren't matching. My credit card doesn't work there. Like,
oh wow.
I kind of just had to figure everything out. And of course, like Shiho's helping me out as much as he can on the side of like being a promoter and then having their own job as well. And catching the trains and like reading the numbers. Like it was so much, but I feel like I can do anything and I can survive anywhere. Like
there you
I didn't
go.
know I came from that.
Yeah.
But I learned so much from just that, from being there for such a short time.
That's so dope. You looking to go forward to going back, or is that something that you're looking to do at a certain point?
Yeah, of course I do, because it was during the pandemic, so we didn't get to have like a crowd, just the recorded matches and then put the videos up. So it's different, and they are having shows now. I have been seeing those, so that would be. I definitely come back to that.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, cool. So let's transition and talk a little bit about stateside. So the LFC MMA. I think before we logged on, I got a glimpse of what I thought on the shelf behind you was the championship belt.
Oh.
Was that actually it or no?
No, I had to relinquish my belt.
What? Okay.
Because of my injury.
Okay,
yes.
So
that is by Lucha Libre Volcanica belt, women's championship belt.
Okay, champ. Okay, champ. So I want to get into that one too, because this is kind of where I really wanted the conversation to go, right? So let's jump back real quick. So prior to the relinquishing, you had the opportunity, was it 2 years ago? I think it was, if my memory serves me right, which it probably doesn't. I think I probably got a concussion from doing a back body drop. But whenever it was, right? So you and Sturgis are what used to be called Road Wild, right? Back in the day when WCW went there, but you competed for Lingerie Fighting Championships, MMA. How in the hell and just knowing you, I understand how, but how does that come about where you're like, yeah, wrestling is good, but I'm about to go in here and beat a bitch down, or several, right? I mean, I'd love to hear you give a little story background on that one.
So I, believe it or not, I love being a heel, and I also like, I am generally an aggressive person. At home with my friends, I'm very aggressive. I show love aggressively. And there's always been a thing with like fighting. Like, I have fought, like high school fights, but I have always been really interested in actual like fighting. I don't know if I would like to get hit that hard, or like,
Right.
like, I don't know, like I want to try it out. So LFC was definitely like the first push into that, because it's different. So I'm actually pretty excited, and I actually do have some plans more in that direction, in a kind of fighting direction. But I do have to get healed up first.
Okay. Awesome. So I saw some clips of the match. It was you and Shay Lazarus, correct? Or
LFC.
The
yes.
LFC, yeah. I don't want to start calling out other names and stuff, because I don't want to, bust anybody. Yeah. But yeah, not bust anybody in a bad way, but like go against the code or whatever. But it had to be a pretty wild thing. So it was an outdoor, not even a venue, right? I mean, it was out kind of like in the middle of a bike rally, right?
It was like in the middle of a forest, like forest is like, it was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge, and so many people.
How was the reception?
Yeah.
I mean,
reception was good, actually. I don't remember not having it. I remember recording a lot of matches and stuff. So,
so a big bike rally, a lot of spirited attendees, right? I'm sure there was a few beers flowing here and there, and then
there was bars.
Bars. You have beautiful women out there just getting it in, fighting the hell out of each other. So I would imagine it was exciting and probably a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, like I have never seen. They had like motorcycles with like holes on it, like stripper poles on it. I didn't even know they made things like that.
Wow. Okay. Well, shoot. Sounds like it was a pretty cool experience, though, across the board, right? And then to come out as the champion, good for you. Super proud.
Oh yeah.
Super proud of you on that one.
That was a lot of fun. Like, we both killed it, and it was just a lot of fun. And I think that was like one of my first matches back after. Well, like, it was still during COVID, but I had stopped wrestling because there wasn't really anything going on.
Right. Yeah,
and that was one of my first matches back, and that was just like, it was so much fun.
Ooh, yeah, I love it. So speaking of championships, you had mentioned your Lucha Libre Volcanica championship. That's their women's championship. You want to talk at all about the other? So I don't want to give up any insider information. You want to talk at all about that championship and that promotion?
Oh yeah.
Righteous.
Oh man. Yeah, Lucha Libre Volcanica was one of the first. It was the first lucha school I went to, and it was one of the real lucha schools, because I hear lots of stories, or I'll see other workers, and the lucha's style is different. But in Mexico, like Mexican wrestling, like they teach us a certain way, and he teaches that certain way, and I'm glad I learned it from him. And it was really scary to learn, because it is just all like acrobatic stuff. And like, here I am just coming from like the American style, started, and then like 7 months later try lucha. Like, I'm in a small garage, we don't do springboards, none of that. Go into lucha, they have the open space to it, everyone's doing springboards, everyone's jumping outside the ring, everyone's like, it's a different environment, and it was scary, but everyone was positive, and like, we'd cheer everybody
Super
on.
Encouraging.
And, like, it's great to have that. And then, they'd always place us in the right spot, because you're new, and you should always be like, it shouldn't be a new person. It should be like for certain things, like especially you need to be with a more experienced person to not get hurt. And so like they took care of me, and my buddy was like, he would go there my first couple matches and he would always like make sure I was safe. So that like helped me a lot. I think if he wasn't there, I would be like a lot more scared when I had started.
Yeah, Buddy and Buddy Wayne, of course, Pacific Northwest, and just all around pro wrestling legend. You want to talk a little bit about, before we get back to the Lucha stuff, because that's a good segue. You want to talk a little bit about your training and how your training first started with the Buddy Wayne Academy, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah. At first, like I just wanted to see if I liked it. Like I hadn't. It was just like, I want to try it. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try it.
And that was your first, your first entrance into professional wrestling, right?
Yeah, it was a Buddy Wayne Academy, and like I remember emailing him, and then him telling me the deposit amount, and then I'm like, okay, I'll have to get back to you on that.
Right. Let me stack that up a little bit.
Yeah, a year later, because I know nothing about wrestling, so I don't know how it's supposed to be. And a year later, I come back, I have the money. He sends me the address. I pull up, and like, I'm just like, where am I? Am I gonna get abducted? Like this is like, I don't know anything about this. I'm at someone's backyard to go train for the first time for wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, is that how it's supposed to be? And then like just going in there, like there were so many. I can't remember my first day, like who was specifically there, but it was just great. And like coming back, like I would always like you should know now, like getting the butterflies on the way to training, feeling like you have to go to the bathroom, feeling zombie, and like you're just nervous.
Yeah.
No. And then like just having his support, having everyone else's support, and they're like, don't worry, because you know, at first you feel like you can't do anything, like you just suck, like you shouldn't even be in this business, and they're like, don't worry, we've all been through this. This is part of it,
man. And let me tell you, to hear you say that and to think about your journey, and I've had similar conversations, just encouraging conversations across the board. Like I said, everybody at our school, at Oregon Pro Wrestling School, is absolutely amazing. Ricky and Eddie do a great job of facilitating an environment for success and for comfort. I remember, like, let me see, the first couple times I went, I was concerned about the difference in how I fall in Krav Maga in a self-defense posture versus how to fall or take a bump. So it took me a while to work through that. I'm still working through that. But you talked about the butterflies, which was funny because then it was, it was high school boys, and then it was Beals, and right now it's back body drops, and I got all these little things I need to work to get past, and I spend probably way too much time obsessing on it throughout the day because I get to work from home, right? So I'll pull up a video on what Ric Flair's back body drop looks like, and can I emulate that, and try to find ways to get myself more comfortable. But even just you checking on me, Shayna checking on me, Nick checking on me, Ethan HD reaching out, checking on me, people that just like generally care, because again, like you said, you guys have all been through it, so it's all part of the process. So it's very encouraging. So thank you for that, and for sharing it, kind of giving me a little bit more hope that I could go out there and smile and have fun and do it, and not worry about all the silly stuff, because the encouragement is there. Sadly, I never had the opportunity to meet Buddy Wayne. Obviously, have met and talked with Nick and also Shayna. So it's been a blessing to be able to do that. And from what I hear, he left a void that won't be quickly filled by anybody. So and that's a testament to everyone that I've talked to about how great a guy he was, and a wonderful person, period, and a mentor. So thank you for sharing that. As it pertains to the Lucha style, kind of getting back to that, what would you say is the biggest draw to you as an athlete, right? Not just as a performer, but as an athlete, to the Lucha style. You mentioned, to me, I see it as very fast-paced. I was watching AEW last night, just watching the Lucha Bros match with FTR, and just watching how quickly everything is, which is kind of, as a new student, where we get ourselves in trouble because everything has to go fast in our mind, but understanding that everything really should go slow, slow, slow. About the Lucha style, what is it that called out to you? Because you seem to do it so effortlessly.
I think, I don't know that it even, I think Buddy and he probably obviously realized it before I did. But like as I was training, and Sonico, he had seen Sonico. I think Sonico had come once, or he had seen it, and he's like, "Oh, I want you to try this," and it was a lucha move. And I was like, "Ooh," and I did it, and it was like it was working. And he's like, "Huh, like I want you to start doing lucha."
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm gonna start taking you here," and then I was like, I mean, like, well, that was a fun move. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
It was different. And I liked it. And I was like, okay. I'm like, yeah, all right. Oh, let's go. I had no idea because I didn't know anything. Like,
Sure.
I had no idea what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely, like, that made me realize, like, oh, okay, well, I like things like this. Like, what is it? Can I get more of it? And then he knew exactly what, like, he knew exactly where to place me. And that's
the benefit. That's such a beautiful thing. So you trained in Lucha Libre Volcanica, and then down in Mexico, is there specific promotions or schools that you've worked with down there that you had the chance to do, or even down in LA? I mean, getting closer down to the border.
Yeah. The schools I had trained with, one of them, I can't remember the name right now, but that it was because it was such short notice. I had got invited from it to go there from one of the luchadors, Ave Rex from Lucha Libre Volcanica, and Avispa, and he had invited me, and so I was like, all right, like I want to go, okay, and like I didn't know, like he's like, all right, it's gonna be tough. Like, okay, all right,
so you're ready, get yourself all prepped up for it. Yeah.
And it was very, very intense. It definitely reminded me of Lucha Volcanica and how we start out with cardio, like running first. Yeah. And then you do squats or you do push-ups, and then you'll go do the ropes on the floor, like or bear crawls. And that's how it was out there. You start, you'd run, you'd go backwards, like you do a bunch of things first, you do squats, all of that, and then you'd get in the ring. Yeah. And now that your body's warm, you get in the ring, and I remember working on like getting into the ring. So, you know, the typical American, you'll step through the ropes, or you'll like jump over, like fling yourself over the ropes, and like maybe an occasional like cool flip or something. Like, oh my gosh, these guys, like every single one of them, something I've never seen. I'm just like every time, like, and it would be one after the other, and like it's just things I haven't had seen in person. Like watching wrestling, but I've never seen it in person, and I'm just like, holy shit, like these guys are pros. Like, and so I'm over here like, all right, I have to do a cool entrance. There's like maybe one or two other girls, and I'm like, I gotta do it. And I go to do it.
That's so dope.
Of course I fail, because that's typical me. Like, I always gotta mess it up because I get nervous. Yeah. And then I went and did it. But there is definitely just straight lucha, and I definitely got to learn a lot of new things over there that we haven't even got to do, or at least that he was teaching us prior to me even like coming to Lucha Libre Volcanica, because they've been here for a while. Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to come and see one of the shows there, and it was really eye-opening and very exciting to see all the luchadors get their stuff in, and just the approach, the action, still learning psychology, but just the storytelling, right? I mean, everything seemed to be turned up 2 or 3 levels, right? The athleticism, the entrances, just like you said, just like something as simple as getting into the ring. It's done with flips and flair.
It's just with the flair.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be, and that's what the business is, obviously, right? It's entertainment. It was very entertaining. How dope, though, right, to have the benefit of 3 different at the minimum that we've even talked about, right? So a Korean style, a Lucha style, and then of course the American style that you train in. Are there any other, like, on your target board or your target list of where you want to go, other areas you want to train in, any other different styles that you're aware of that you think might kind of complement the entire package?
Yeah, I really love the Japanese style. I'm really excited. Like, I can't wait to go to Japan and experience it and really be taught by them, like, their style and how it is. So I'm pretty, like, I'm excited. I want to learn all the styles, and I want to just have a variety of everything, of the things that I like or that I can do best.
Ideally, what would you say your end goal is, right? Because I know everybody has the big dream, the pie in the sky, whatever it is. Okay, let's do it this way, right? So we're on 29 minutes. Let's go. Are you still good for time? You okay?
Yeah.
Okay, righteous. So if you can write the next, I don't know, call it the next 5 years, right? Training, travel, all that good stuff. Like, how would you write it beginning to end? I mean, obviously getting 100% physically is obviously the most important thing there. As far as, like, you have a belt to go get back, right? In LFC, MMA, and you have a belt to defend, right? Like, what else is on your short-term target list of what you want to do?
I definitely want to hit all the home promotions. So I need to hit Defy. I need to do Lucha Libre Volcanica. Yeah. I need to go to LA and hit up Knox Pro. That's my family over there too.
No doubt.
I got to hit up FSW. I got to hit up Midget Wrestling. Like you said, I have to get my belt back. LFC, I have to get that belt back. Like, that is my first short-term goal, is to hit up those spots and a couple other places that I've been wanting to go to. And then I plan on going abroad and traveling.
Yeah.
So
that's so sweet. That's
and then we'll just see how long that takes. Because I think my end goal is just being able to live off of wrestling and doing what I love and not having to worry about another job and just wrestling.
Yeah. You had a chance to go. You want to talk about Tampa at all, or no?
Oh, my tryout?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, that's the only time I've been to Florida.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said, the podcast is unscripted, so we didn't talk about, like, really do's and don'ts, but all these different ideas are coming up in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I want to ask you about this, and I want to ask you about that. But if you want to talk about it, I'd love to hear what that experience was like for you.
Yeah. Well, first finding out about it was so exciting. I feel like I was at work and I just, like, shot back in my chair and, like, hit the wall because it's like I didn't have any space behind me.
Right.
And, like, screamed and was just, like, super excited.
So for those for those who aren't aware, who are just either tuning in for the first or second time and not kind of, shame on them for not being hip to your journey and understanding everything about you, but we're talking about the opportunity for a tryout with WWE. Danika had the opportunity to go down there, and I just have to tell you real quick how proud I was to see the picture of you standing in front of the Performance Center, just as a friend, right? Because you want to see people succeed and do things that make them happy, and I know how much you love this sport. And just off of individual private conversations we've had, just to see you be able to achieve that goal really, really blessed me to see that. And to see you getting it in down at Knox Pro, I think is super dope too. So that's the excitement, the training, the everything, the tryout that we're referring to for the uninformed. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. And then just finding out about the tryout was just great. And then, like, oh crap, I gotta prepare.
Right.
And just, like, reaching out to people that I know that have had a tryout, or and getting advice from them, and then just putting in the work for it. I remember going to Evolve like 5 times, 6 times a week, just literally, I'd have a notebook, I'd have a list of things that I need to do. It'd be a long list. I'd have times, I'd have my timer, and those are the things that I needed to do, the things that I needed to work on, so that I could be ready. And that's what I would do every time up until I had the tryout. I had to go tan. Like, you had to do everything that you need to do for it to be prepared just to go there. And then being there was super exciting. You have like your groups, and we show up at the time. You have, I know everyone's is different though, slightly different or completely different. And I know the first day was, you know, just them filling everything out, doing rolls. We had about like, I think like 40.
Oh, wow.
Like 40 people, 40, 45 people. And
that's a big group.
Half of them are wrestlers, half of them are just straight athletes.
Okay.
And they want to see you both. And so you go out there, you do what they ask, they split you up, you do your promos, you do your matches, and you go on your way, and they either talk to you or they don't talk to you, or maybe they hit you up later, but they are watching now. Wow. You're on their radar.
There we go. Super dope. Oh, how exciting. That's really cool. Is that, if we're talking about goals, is that obviously one of the main goals to make it to a major promotion along those lines? Like you said, to be able to live off of professional wrestling.
Yeah. That for sure is my end goal, because I did used to have a goal, and then like over time it changes, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And now I just want to like just live off of it, wrestling, whether I'm signed or not signed.
There's a lot.
As long as I'm having fun doing what I do.
That's what I'm saying. There's enough. Seems like it's enough work, and by God's grace, everything stays open, right? And we're able to continue to run shows and see you work and see you in new and exciting angles and situations, i.e. getting into like basically a street fight in the middle of a Defy during a promo. I was watching a video actually that I took on my phone because I'm such a mark. That was like one of the last Defy shows I was at as a fan versus as a worker working ring crew and doing security. But to sit there and I went back and I watched it on my phone, and I went back and I watched it online to see how it all developed, and what an exciting twist in the story, in the storied relationship, but also in the story of Danika Della Rouge. So that was really cool to see. Really, really, really cool to see. The only bummer part that I think about you working heel, which I think you do so great, is not being able to BS with you. Like, you know, the faces come out at intermission and you hang out and you talk and you kick it like you normally would. But I'm like, nah, she's back there playing it to the teeth, as you should.
Cool.
You are too cool. Too cool to be out there hanging out with us lowlifes, and that's all good. It's all good. Let's see. We covered a lot of stuff. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up or discuss that we really haven't had a chance to get to?
No. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything right now.
All right, so I'll throw a couple ideas at you. So FSW, right, out of Vegas. Do you have I remember when Cody left WWE, he had kind of like I call it a hit list, but not necessarily a hit list, but a target list of dream opponents in that promotion. Not calling anybody out, and we ain't trying to start no drama. We're all, you know, peace and love. But like favorite competitors that you've worked there, or somebody that you're interested in working there.
All right, and you're saying for FSW?
FSW, yeah.
Yeah, I have had a match with Maserati and Sandra Moon and Matt Vandergriff and of course Jordan. But you know, like, I've only had a match with Sandra once, and that girl is amazing. She's so cute. She's so like bubbly, like, and like that match was like so much fun. And like we tried so many new things, and we had the trust with each other. So Like, I definitely want to have another match with her.
Yeah.
And Maserati, like, we always kill it. And we are already going to have that match for LFC, whether or not she has the belt or not. We're
Nice.
already
Run it
having
back.
another match.
Yeah, I know that's right. Run it back. And
And
Sandra
of
Moon,
course, for FSW, too.
yeah, Sandra Moon's the women's champ still, correct?
Sandra Moon, yeah.
Uh-huh. Ooh, add another one to the repertoire. Get that belt, bring that home.
And Estrella, I haven't had a singles match with her. I did have we had a gauntlet match at Knox Pro, and she was there, but I haven't had a singles match with her, so I think that would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then I know they have a couple other girls there too,
mm-hmm.
which I'm pretty excited to work with too.
Yeah.
And like all of their guys there, like FSW is such a great promotion.
Yeah.
And great training there. So I want to wrestle all of them.
Awesome. I know that's right. That's the best answer. You mentioned Jordan. Shout out Jordan Oasis, my dude. Such a cool cat. I saw him down. Last time I saw him, I think, was at Defy in LA. I flew down there and got to visit family and see the show, and that was really cool. And I think that's the first time I've seen Sandra Moon work as well, so that was really neat. At that show. Yeah, that was dope. So let's talk about a little bit closer to home. So as far as local promotions, I don't know what's on your to-do list at Washington Hall at Defy.
Oh, what workers I want to work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or kind of like
ones.
Yeah, like what do you think when you think Defy and what's going on there presently?
Right now, none of the women are interesting. Viva is one, but the other women, like, I don't know, been there, done that, and I need to see some new faces, and that's. I'm just tired of wrestling the same people over and over, and I mean, if they want to have another match, that's fine, because I'm a whole new different person now. So, I mean, bring it. I mean, where's that women's champ belt? I need to see a Defy women's champ belt.
I'm saying, Matt, Jim, Annie, somebody pay attention. Legit, we'll advocate for that for sure. Okay, cool. And that I took the camera off me so the people on the stream can't see it, but you saw it. I got pumped and excited because I love that edge to you, right? And to see you, man. All I'm saying is, if whoever is going to be booked against you, either be wise and go and watch the LFC fight and see what you're up against, right? Because I don't know if the Danika that we all know and love and respect, and I was introduced to with the beautiful LED angel wings and stuff, if you think that's who you're gonna get, you might have another thing coming. So be wise and do your research before you step in the ring. So don't let that cotton candy hair fool you, because there's a lot going on under the surface there. Cool. Yeah, I would love to see that match with Viva too. That would be really dope. Really, really, really dope. Especially, again, based off the training video. I was like, oh my God, this would be so amazing. And then, of course...
Actually, that was my first match for this belt, was me and Viva.
Oh, was it? Oh, sweet. So she's sitting on, I think...
First match with her.
She's sitting on like 3 or 4 straps right now. So maybe we could run that back. Chase her around, see if we can get a couple of those to add to yours too. That'd be legit. I love that. Well, cool. I really want to thank you so much for taking the time. I know we've been trying to work this for a while, and I'm really, really glad to hear that your recovery is going well. Really look forward to seeing you back in the ring doing what I believe you're born to do, which is entertain and fight. And your fights are very entertaining, and I'm really excited to see the next evolution of you as a performer and as an athlete, and support you in every way that I can as a friend, and appreciate the kind words and the advice and all that good stuff that you've given me over the years to get me to this point in my training, but just as a friend. Super legit, super dope. Any last words? Anything you want to give you the last couple minutes to get anything else that might be on your chest, off your chest, or we can go ahead and land a plane and let you get on the rest of your evening.
I just hope that everyone is ready for me when I come out, because I'm going to be ready for everyone, because I have time and I have the money and I've got the opportunity right now to watch and study everyone. And no one has been watching me because I haven't been posting anything, and I won't be posting anything until I come out.
Smart.
So watch out.
Smart. Well, Danika, thank you so much for your time. It's always good to see you. Hopefully, I get to see you again soon in person and catch up again a little bit more. I always end my podcast, because I'm obviously, as you can see, most of the folks that are on the stream can't see all my nerdery behind me, my Star Wars good stuff. And in the words of Lando Calrissian, you, Miss Danika Della Rouge, truly belong with us here amongst the clouds. So thank you for being so awesome. Thank you for being a good friend. And thank you for joining in once again on the CloudCity Converse Podcast. Be well, sister, until I see you again. God bless you and take care of yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, again, that's another episode, first episode of the second season of the CloudCity Converse Podcast. Again, unscripted, unfiltered, and unapologetic. That is Danika Della Rouge across the board. So again, like she said, get yourself ready, and fans, get your popcorn ready, because it's going to be a good one when she comes back out. So again, until next time, God bless you guys. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again soon.